Hey everyone, this is Josh Hayward. Happy Tuesday. I hope that you all are having a great week. Welcome to day one of the Guinness Project. What is the Guinness Project, you may ask? Well, it's just a video series that I've created where I have just kind of collected a bunch of different Guinness beers over the last few months, and I wanted to crack into each one of them and do a little review. Guinness has been putting out a lot of great brews as of late, different brews than their standard draft that you see so often. But just really interested to see what these are like, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So hopefully you guys will follow along as I go through each one of these. We're going to kick it off right with the original Guinness beer, Guinness Draught, as I guess the Irish or the English would say. The correct pronunciation. Most people just call it Guinness over here in the States, or draft, whatever the case may be. You often see this either in the cans, the large cans, or in the bottle. Occasionally you can actually find it on draft in your local bar or tap room. But we're going to look at the original first and kind of compare all the other ones against that. This is the one you see most often. This is the one you see in the stores, in the restaurants, everything. So we're going to get after this one. This is a storied beer. It goes back many, many, many years. This is the original one. It was brewed back in the 1700s. I'm sure it's maybe been tweaked a little bit, but for the most part, this is what put Guinness on the map. And we're going to see how it is. So let's pour it out and see what we've got. I'll do a little bit more of a pour this evening just because this is such a beautiful, beautiful brew. That's great. So we've got a very, very black looking beer. Just black. Straight, dark, opaque. You cannot see through that at all. There's no light coming through that whatsoever. As I hold it up to the light up here, I'm getting a little bit of a reddish tone down at the bottom and maybe just a little bit of a reddish hue up top. But you can't see through it at all. It's straight black, just black. It's a black beer, a stout, porter beer, kind of whatever you want to call it, really. I think for me, this would fall more under the Irish Stout category. But we've got a dark black color there. We have a creamy tan head, very, very creamy, very, very frothy there, and it lingers on the glass. This is I get excited just looking at the beer in the glass. I've always been a big fan of Guinness. So let's see what we got on the nose. This is a very good smelling beer. All right, so on the nose, I'm getting there's definitely some sweetness there. It's more like a heavy malty sweetness. I'd say kind of reminding me of molasses in a way. Those tinges of sweetness are there. There's no hops really in this that you can perceive. Most of it is overshadowed by that sweet molasses type smell. That's pretty much all I'm getting. Maybe some toasted, like dark toasted bread in there, but not a ton on the nose. It's not like some of the crazy IPAs and things that we've tried where you're smelling fruit and hops and a variety of things. It's just straight up Guinness. You're smelling. It just smells like Guinness. No, you're smelling that molasses and dark toasted bread, toasted malt type smell. So let's go see what we got. Cheers. Classic Guinness. Very, very good. Like I said, I've always been a fan of it, but it's really interesting to take a drink and really think about what you're tasting. I've tasted this beer many, many times, but really just sitting here and perceiving like everything that I'm getting, it's kind of refreshing. You kind of rediscover the beer all over again. Just a solid stout, very, very solid stout. I'm getting a burnt, say burnt, dark malt flavor in here. I say burnt because some of the black specialty malt and things that are used in these darker beers, that malt is being kilned like right to the point where it's set on fire, close to, and they put it, cool it off real quick. But it's a char, almost like a charred type taste in there. The sweetness comes through and reminiscent of molasses. If you're not a fan of molasses, I challenge you to maybe just try it for the sake of it, because you do get some of those notes in these darker beers. The sweetness coming from the malts is just it's so much like molasses. I'm getting notes of coffee and espresso in here. Again, very characteristic of the darker malts that are used in these stouts, these dark beers. Not much hoppiness here at all. If anything, the hops are there, kind of balancing out the beer a little bit. There's not a ton of bitterness, but there is a considerable amount of dryness here. The dryness, again, coming from that darker malt that's used, also from some of the hops. And it's a little bit of a lingering dryness, but it invites you to continue to take more sips for sure. But yeah, great beer. Like I said, get in the molasses, the coffee notes, the espresso notes. Probably as far as keep going back to the hops, because hops is, of course, one of the main components of beer. They're definitely there. You taste a little bit of bitterness in it, but some of that, those sweeter notes from the molasses kind of help balance that out a little bit. The beer, as dark as it is, it's a lighter beer, if that makes sense. Some of these dark porter beers and stouts and whatnot can be really, really, really heavy. I've always found Guinness, even though it's black as night, it's an easier drinking stout for sure. You can definitely enjoy it, and it doesn't sit heavy, so to speak. I just can't help but think of the workers kind of in the olden days, seeking out the Guinness after a hard day's work. It's a hearty beer. It's a refreshing beer. Kind of a good day's work kind of beer. Something that you would enjoy at the end of a hard day's work. But a great beer by Guinness. A favorite, really worldwide. They've been doing a great job since 1759, as it says there on the bottle. But this is going to kind of be the standard for what we judge, or how we judge the other ones throughout the week. Yes, we have different styles, but whenever people think of Guinness, this is what they think of. So whenever we try these other beers, we're going to be kind of comparing them. But great beer, excellent stout, kind of the gold standard as far as Irish stouts go. Everyone kind of compares things to Guinness. So cheers to Guinness, cheers to the Guinness family, and cheers to you guys. Take care.